Hi, I'm Dr. Weiner. I'm a bariatric surgeon, and I also answer questions from people who are out there who want to know more about weight loss or weight loss surgery or nutrition. And so if you have a question you want to ask me, you can go to drweiner.com, scroll down a little bit, there's a start recording button, click on it, give your phone, your tablet, your computer access to the microphone, record your question. You can play it back to make sure you like it, and then send it off to me. It comes to me by email, and chances are I'll make a video about it. So let's hear today's question about how to prevent your stomach from stretching out.
Dr. Weiner, I'm a big fan. Been following you for about 4 years. 2.5 years ago, I began my journey. I lost about 80 pounds prepping for sleeve surgery. Had my sleeve surgery 2 years ago this month, and I've lost another 90. So I lost 170 pounds total. Right now, and I exercise a lot. That's how I did most of it. But I'm concerned now that my eating habits have gone backwards a little bit, and I've gained about 15, 20 pounds back. And I'm concerned about my stomach enlarging again. I don't want that to happen, but I do find as I've exercised more, I'm hungrier and I need to eat more. It seems like to keep my strength up. Anyways, what's the best solution to make sure that I don't expand that stomach again as I move forward?
Okay, so how do you prevent your stomach from stretching out? This guy's been incredibly successful. What I love about this story is he lost 80 pounds going into his surgery. And that's awesome. I mean, clearly there was a lot of lifestyle changes before the surgery, and this is how you do it. You change your life first, then you have surgery. Surgery does not change your life alone. It can help, don't get me wrong. It can really help for a number of different reasons, but there's got to be that initial effort if you want to get the most out of these surgeries. So it also, something that I kind of picked up on is it sounds like this guy is really relying a lot on exercise for weight loss, which is great. It can be very powerful, especially in men, but there has to be the nutrition as well. So if we're going to solve this problem and figure out why there's been this 15 or 20 pounds of weight gain, why this guy can eat more, we have to move well past the original mechanism that we thought drove weight loss after bariatric surgery, which is restriction and malabsorption. Restriction meaning it blocks you from eating, malabsorption meaning it blocks you from absorbing the calories. So it really doesn't work that way. This is a hormonal change that removing this portion of your stomach or changing the way food flows through your intestines drives the weight loss. And it's this change in the ghrelin and the leptin and all the other hormones that affect your body's set point that cause weight loss after surgery and are responsible for weight regain. So the first thing I'm going to say in terms of this guy's experience is what he's experiencing happens to everyone after surgery. At 1 month, it's like 3 bites of food. It's nothing. At 6 months, it's just a few ounces. By a year, you're at a half a plate. And of course, this is going to vary from person to person. But by 3 years and 5 years, you're at a full plate of food. You can eat plenty within a few years of a sleeve gastrectomy to get yourself in trouble. This doesn't mean that the stomach is stretching out and you've lost the restriction. It means that there's this natural and progressive change that happens after surgery to everybody. And just because you can eat more doesn't mean you're going to regain a lot of weight. In fact, food moves very quickly through your stomach. So if you eat a piece of food after a gastric bypass, it spends like 60 seconds, maybe a few minutes in that gastric pouch before it goes onto your intestines. A sleeve, we actually find, causes a rapid emptying of your stomach, more so than people who have normal sized stomachs. So when you eat food, it goes into the small intestine more rapidly. So this idea that this is a vessel that you have to fill up, and once it's full, that's when you feel full, that's a false notion. That's not how this works. By the food moving through your intestines and your stomach at a different rate and triggering different patterns of stretch receptors, it adjusts how you respond to food and how you feel full. So we have to look, if we're going to explore why people are gaining some weight, we have to ask ourselves, why is that set point going back up after surgery? And if you look at my new book, How Weight Loss Surgery Really Works, in chapter 3, I outline all of these possible causes and discuss what you can do to eliminate them. So a lot of medications. So first thing I would ask this guy is you started any new medications. Look through the medication list, make sure there's nothing that could be causing weight gain. There's a lot of medications that cause weight gain. Food addictions. Have you kind of stumbled back into some old habits where you're eating processed foods? Processed foods trigger us to eat more than when we eat unprocessed foods. So if you're kind of slid back to eating processed foods, you're right. If you're only eating a few bites, then eating half a plate of cookies is going to be worse than eating a few bites of cookie. But when we're eating healthy food, eating more healthy food doesn't cause more weight gain than eating small amounts of healthy food. In fact, I would argue that the more healthy food, plants, fruit, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and beans, the more of this you eat, the thinner you get. Sugar-sweetened beverages. If you are drinking anything that contains calories and you've had bariatric surgery, please stop right now. You will regain a huge amount of weight, maybe all of the weight and then some. When I see someone who's regained all of their weight after bariatric surgery, it's almost always at least partially driven by sugar-sweetened beverages. This is the other reason I see where people regain all of their weight. Yo-yo dieting. Genetics can't do anything to change this. Pregnancy and menopause generally can't change this. Stress and depression. Are you managing your stress in the best way? Are you managing it through eating, or are you managing it through exercise, through meditation, through going out in nature, hiking, camping, things like that? These are really powerful ways, and they sound kind of, cliche, but they're super powerful ways. And believe me, if I could take the emotional value of going on a walk outside in the fresh air and hearing nature sounds, if I could put that value into a pill, people would tout this as the miracle pill of the 21st century. But we can't take it as a pill. We have to actually have the experience. So if you're struggling with stress and depression, try to identify the most constructive ways that you can manage this. Exercise, an incredibly potent stress and depression tool. Altered sleep patterns, and then there is, to some degree, in some patients, this decreasing hormonal effect of surgery, which can cause a little bit of weight regain. It typically is small, in the order of 1 to 3 pounds a year, but there is, in some people who do everything right, can still regain a small amount of weight, and that set point can creep back up, especially after a sleeve, but also after a gastric bypass for sure. So if you want to prevent weight regain, and really, if you want to prevent your stomach from stretching out, which is not the underlying cause here of this increased appetite, you want to eat lots of high quality food. You want to avoid a sedentary lifestyle, avoid medications that cause weight gain, avoid sugar-sweetened beverages, avoid injury. Injury is a major cause of set point elevation. You exercise too hard, you get injured, you're laid up for a month, you gain more weight than you could have ever lost through exercise. Getting enough sleep and avoiding yo-yo dieting. So for more information on this, you can look at Nutrition Course number 1, which also outlines these causes of set point elevation, or Bariatric Course number 4, which is titled The End of the Honeymoon. And that's really what we're experiencing here, is the end of these honeymoon years after weight loss surgery, where for the first few years you have amazing control of your appetite, but that goes away. That doesn't mean you have to regain your weight. That's part of the natural process of life after weight loss surgery. Also, my book's on Amazon, How Weight Loss Surgery Really Works, or A Pound of Cure. Thanks for your attention.